This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is BJ Saunders from Alpena Senior Center. Hi, BJ.
Hi, Nancy.
Happy New Year to you.
Well, yes, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy to have you here, and I know that things are going crazy as usual at the Senior Center. You had record numbers of meals for Meals on Wheels. Your Christmas dinner and your Thanksgiving dinners, broke all kinds of records. So what other exciting things are happening?
Gosh, we've got so many, like you said, exciting things going on at the centers and some new opportunities. One of the things that I really wanted to bring up, because we're going to be out in the community talking about it, is we partnered with an organization to make Alpena a dementia-friendly community. So Annie and I became certified to do these sessions, and we're out in the community trying to encourage people to do these sessions. So what it involves is for us, each of us, to learn when we're out in the community, if we see someone who's struggling that potentially might have a cognitive issue going on, how to approach that person and how to help that person. Because we do have quite a few people in our community that are having cognitive issues.
That's so true. I was at a shopping center here in town one day and saw an elderly gentleman, like my age of elderly, walking around and around the parking lot, and I stopped and I said, are you having problems finding your car? And he goes, yeah. He said, it's a red Buick LeSabre. He said, I can't find it. I said, well, I know your daughter. And I said the name, and he goes, oh. And I said, well, do you want to hop in my car and I'll drive you around? So he got in my car and I drove him around. He was driving a black Chevy pickup truck. He wasn't even driving a red. So we couldn't find it, so I finally called his daughter and told her, and they came and got him. And, it was just so horrible for him and for the family, so I'm so glad you're doing that.
Yes, and I'm glad you did that. Can you imagine what would have happened if you wouldn't have stopped to help him?
I'd like to think someone else might have helped him, but when I first went into the store, I noticed him walking around, and I thought, oh, that's so-and-so's dad. And when I came out, he was still walking around, and that was my clue. But So how do people get in touch with you?
They call us at the Senior Center, 356-3585, and we set up, if it's an organization, we're going to be doing a presentation at Turning Brook. I've also signed up to do a presentation with the lifelong learners.
Good.
So just call the center and we'll set up some time to either come into our center and do it, or we can go to different locations and do it. It takes about an hour.
I was going to ask, how long does it take?
Yes, an hour.
That would be really good for any group or organization, church groups, civic, fraternal organizations, to have you come, because chances are either their congregates or their members, someone, will eventually be facing an issue with dementia.
Right, exactly. One of the other main reasons why we really wanted to take advantage of this opportunity is we need to get out in the community and start finding these people out there that need help. They're being diagnosed, they're being sent home with a diagnosis, and then they don't know what to do. So we need to let all these individuals know that we're here at the Senior Center. They're not alone. We've got resources. We can offer them assistance. We've got a REACH program that's amazing for caregivers. We've got plenty of things going on to help these individuals. We just have to find them.
Right, and once you get them, then they can take advantage of the Meals on Wheels, the home helper services,
home services,
that you offer,
yes.
all of those things, and now you're doing a lot of things online too that they could even see and do from home.
We are. We've got our book club that's just doing amazing things right now. As a result of the book club, I'm also just started a diabetes support group at the Senior Center, and that's just been, we just had our first meeting a couple of weeks ago, and that was just absolutely awesome. But I partnered with a gentleman from a nurse from the hospital. So that's another thing we're really getting into, is partnering with businesses out in our community. We've partnered with Art in the Loft. We're doing some amazing art projects at the Senior Center and at Besser Senior Living. So we're developing some wonderful relations out in the community.
And you know, the thing about that is each nonprofit organization only has so many dollars. So the more teamwork you can do and the more groups you can join and the more services you can share across the board, it's better for everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know your Zoom exercise classes have been going very crazy.
They are going absolutely amazing. I'm teaching class 5 days a week now.
Wow.
I had a lady on this morning in our exercise class from Belize.
Wow.
So it was awesome. You know, part of her, when you look at her, part of, sometimes you could see the palm trees and stuff out in the beautiful sunshine, you know. So, you know, the opportunity to do that and to have somebody that's in Belize and we're in Alpena to be able to watch that and for her to do exercise with us.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And what about congregate meals? What time are they held?
We're only doing lunches right now.
Okay.
That's 11:30 to 12:30. Seniors 60 years and older, it's a suggested donation of $350. And the reason why I brought that up right now is because next month is our big fundraiser that we do every year for our Meals on Wheels program. So anybody that's looking for some place to make a donation, we need all the help we can get to do our Meals on Wheels.
Okay, and you can easily pick up your meal too if you do not feel comfortable going in.
We're still doing curbside, and that's just going crazy too. You can call before 10 o'clock. Come by the center between 11:30 and 12:30, pick up your lunch, and you're good to go.
Are you doing your breads yet again for sale?
We started doing it, but we had to hold off for some reasons.
Okay.
But we'll start doing the bread again. That's always a huge success.
It is.
Plus
The
the
bread and
cookies and
soups
cupcakes.
and cookies. Oh, all that stuff was always so good. And I guess I would just like to encourage people, you know, if you're lonely, especially with COVID now, you've been home for so long. If you're lonely, but you're kind of nervous about going there, give a call. Somebody will meet you at the door. They'll give you a tour of the building, walk you through. I know I went there with a friend one time to have lunch, and we sat at our own table. There was no way that was happening. Two ladies said, "You two, get over here. You're not sitting by yourself. Eat with us." And that's the kind of atmosphere you have there.
It is a great atmosphere, and you are right. You know, and if we see somebody that's sitting alone, one of the staff members will go over and talk to that person and take that person and start introducing them to other people in the center.
Amazing.
And we've had quite a few new people in the center, and the friendships that they're making is awesome to watch.
It is. Well, I hope everyone will call you about the dementia series and hope that they will invite you to come and speak to their group. And the phone number for them to call is
356-3585.
Thank you so very much, and I love getting the newsletter. I love catching up and everything going on. Plus, it gives you a wonderful menu and everything that's happening there.
It does.
Thank you so much, and tell everyone we said Happy New Year.
I will. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'll be right back following these messages. Hi, welcome back. I'm with Brad Summers from the Boys and Girls Club of Alpena. Hi, Brad.
Hi, Nancy.
Happy New Year. No, I didn't see you yet this year. This is the first time. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
And I know, like our last guest at the Senior Center, everything is just so busy at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, we're definitely keeping ourselves busy. We're, you know, this time of the year we do a lot of training with our staff. Myself, the unit director and our volunteer director just got back from Chicago area. We did an advanced leadership program, kind of talking about our new building and how to staff it and the infrastructure and, you know, hit the ground running when we actually do get to move in that building. But in terms of programming for the kids, we have a lot of really cool partnerships that we are really, you know, seeing come to fruition and providing some really awesome programming options for our kids. You know, one of the things we have right now is one of our big programs is called our Smart Girls. And SMART is an acronym meaning Skills, Mastery, and Resistance Training, which is basically just a fancy word of saying we're teaching kids healthy lifestyles, how to build healthy relationships and, you know, interactions with other kids, how to eat right. But this one focuses on our girls, and we have a really cool, you know, initiative where it's, you know, right now they're building self-esteem. We have an event going on last week where we have like almost 40 kids in this program, and it's really cool because we have some people from the community that come and talk to them. You know, they get to learn, you know, self-esteem things where, you know, how to do their hair or proper hygiene or, you know, building healthy relationships is a big thing right now for not only the mental health of our young people, but how to move forward in a positive direction in their life. You know, if we could start this small at 8 years old or young when they're 8 8 years old and really, develop those skills as they move forward. They have healthier, relationships with their parents, their friends,
Yes.
spouses later on in life. They learn these skills where, they're designed to help them, as adults, but we teach them as kids.
It's amazing you have 40 students, because you can't get 40 kids anywhere in Alpena to join on or sign on for anything. Everyone is struggling to get youth to participate in anything.
Well, we're very lucky because obviously we're, an organization set to help the kids and for the children. And these relationships and partnerships that we're building in the community are designed to do exactly that. Add skills that we're not the experts in everything, but we like to be able to provide all of those opportunities to our young people. I tell kids every day, by coming to a place like the Boys and Girls Club, you have so much more support than you may not have if you didn't come here.
That's true.
You have caring adults, you have volunteering opportunities, mentoring opportunities, and you just get to go out and meet new friends from different school systems and play and have fun.
Can never have too many people on your team.
No, and that's
never, never, never.
And there's a lot of kids that really need the extra support too. So it's a really fun place to be. A lot of aha moments. Where these kids are just kind of realizing certain things. But that's why we're designed to keep these kids engaged and present them with so many different opportunities that they may not know exist.
And YVC, what's happening with Youth Volunteer Corps?
So the YVC program, we have we had Martin Luther King Jr. Event that we had, which we actually bought. We had a grant that helped provide funding for us to buy books for each classroom, elementary classroom in the entire district.
Wow.
And there's activities that go along with these. The kids, it was really cool because when you pose these questions to our teen population and the kids that are in our volunteer program, it's pretty amazing when they say, well, we want to do something with the younger kids. We want literacy, competency and comprehension of the subject matter in the books. It's really cool to hear our younger generation, wanting to step up for an even younger generation and being able to empower them with these kind of decisions and, give them that platform to, provide these leadership things or these resources in our community is going to pay dividends for our community and for these kids.
It will. And what about teen nights?
Teen nights have been really jumping. We've been seeing a lot of kids coming in. We've had some wonderful partnerships. BC Pizza. We've had Remax with Cindy and with the Limbacks, and they've done some really awesome things to help sponsor some of these nights for us, like providing pizza or providing a bowling night, and doing some things where we're getting the kids outside the club too, but we're also doing some things inside. It's a 2 to 3 hour event where on Friday nights where the teenagers can get together and be teenagers in a structured environment with supervision, and they can play, they can learn some valuable skills, because there is some programming that goes into that. It's kind of, you have to build it in for them so they don't really know what's going on, but it's a wonderful opportunity for these kids to get together, and just have a good time and do things.
It is Youth of the Year.
So this year, Skylar Winegard is our Youth of the Year. He'll be representing the Alpena Boys and Girls Club in Lansing in the middle of April this year. So We're really excited about Skylar. He's done some amazing things. We've known him for a very long time. He's grown up with us, and he's really done some really big leadership initiatives within our club. He's that kid that will always help no matter what, even if he has to put down his own personal things to help other people. So we're really excited to see what he does and see how he represents everybody. So we're really excited.
We're running short of time, and I want to make sure that you talk about the event coming up.
Yeah, so we have on February 18th, Friday, February 18th, we have our groundbreaking event for the new building. We're really excited to have some special guests. Sue Aller will be there, Cindy Johnson. We'll also have some stakeholders from the community that have played a major role in making a lot of this happen for us. And it's one of those where we're getting out there. We'll talk about the goals, some initiatives that we want to see going forward, the partnerships, collaborations, and the future impact of our organization on the community.
And let everyone know that the capital campaign campaign is still ongoing. We still need your donation. If it's $1, $5, $10, whatever you can give, definitely need it.
Yeah, we're $2.4 million into our $3 million goal, so we still have a little bit of ways to go. Just really seeking, individual donations from the community. You'll see some things being rolled out to some more special events, and some really wonderful opportunities to give, and make this dream a reality for us and the community.
And just one short mention too about the cost of the program for someone to join.
Our cost is $20 a year, $10 for the school year or $10 for the summer. And honestly, we have 65% of the kids that come don't pay a penny to be there. So we have a lot of kids on scholarship, but we're always, we take memberships all year round. We don't have any closed period. And the summer session is definitely our busiest time of the year when it comes to programming outside and the amount of kids that we see. So if you're thinking about it, give us a call. We'd love to discuss options and what we do, and educate the community on the initiatives that the club is putting forth. So please give us a call.
Okay, thank you. We're out of time.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. I'd like to talk about 3 developments this week at the college that were very positive and share with you some of my thoughts. The first is reference back to a couple weeks ago. I had talked at some length about the iPads report. A report that every community college and university that receives federal funding fills out. And we do it annually, and it creates some very nice longitudinal data. We can benchmark that data with other community colleges and and it gives us a good sense for how we're doing on some real important metrics, such as graduation. And we found out this week, thanks to the good work of Dr. Amber Vysotsky, a social science instructor at ACC, who's very comfortable with data and works in that world very knowledgeably, that when we looked at our graduation data, we were the #1 community college in the state, first among 28, by a fairly substantial margin. So we couldn't have a much better metric than that, I don't think. I think the data point was we're 38% of our first-time, full-time degree, certificate and associate degree students graduate within 150% of the time when they start. That's a mouthful, but it's not that complicated, really. The timing, 150% for a certificate program that's generally 2 semesters, 1 year. So 150% of that would be 3 semesters or a year and a half. An associate degree is generally 4 semesters, 2 years, so 150% of that would be 6 semesters or 3 years. So folks who start and graduate within that 150% of the time, who are first-time, full-time certificate or associate degree students, graduate at a higher rate at ACC than any other community college in the state. So this is really cool. And I think the next nearest school had a 34% completion rate, and the median was 21%. So that's good data. And people have asked me during the week what we attribute that to, and really I think there's 3 or 4, maybe 5 key factors. One is I think our faculty do a great job. Unlike many schools, our faculty does advising, so early on they connect with students that are interested in the programs that the faculty teach. They teach well. We have a high number of senior faculty people. We have a higher percentage of full-time faculty people than almost any other school. So this is a good thing for students, and it, I think, reflects well in that data. There's a correlation there. Secondarily, the rest of the staff really pitch in and I think collaborate and align on student success. This is a fundamental role of ours, a goal. And from student services to tutoring, counseling, even at the front end, admissions, mandatory orientation for new students, all of these things I think work well, and they help students, and the folks that work in those areas are cognizant that student success is really the primary goal. We also have financial support students do from our ACC Foundation, which does a great job in matching students and scholarships and donors. And also our financial aid folks at the college, Rob Roos and Amanda Belusar. They distribute with a high degree of competence and integrity millions of dollars of Pell Grants and awards, which many of our low-income students access. So that's a key piece. I also think some of our occupational programs, our utility tech line workers program, that can be a certificate or an associate degree. That is a very popular program statewide. Concrete tech is another one that's unique. Nursing, certainly, with an LPN and RN, welding, manufacturing, auto service. Those occupational programs very much align with a cohort model. In other words, students come in really as a group and they take similar classes at similar times all the way through to graduation. I think the data would show, people who research this stuff for doctoral degrees, will show almost always that a cohort is a good way for students to succeed. It often provides some supports along the way when things get hard. People get sick, their car breaks down, they get tired, they get depressed, they get anxious, they run out of money. People, their classmates, oftentimes are the first line of support before the college support services even knows about it. And this tends to help people along in a very good way, a very human way. So a lot of our courses have a cohort model on the occupational side, and that's important. And I think we see that helps. A fourth metric is we're remote. As folks know who are watching the show, Saginaw Valley, Lake State are the nearest schools, and they're more than 2 hours, nearest universities, and they're more than 2 hours away. So people, who are transfer students, and that's many of our students who will start with us and then transfer to a university, a wise move, by the way, will sometimes stay with us an extra semester and complete before they transfer. And they may not do that down in the larger cities where they could transfer to the university right down the street. I think there is something to that where our remoteness works to keep people before they transfer maybe an extra semester or two. One thing we do, though, that I think is very important there is we tend to offer low enrollment but high-level science and math classes. This is something that's very important to the faculty in those areas, and I agree with it. They like to keep those high-end students that last semester and make it worth their while. So we will offer a Calc 3 to real bright students who are pre-engineering, and we may only have 4 or 5 students in that class. It's not a moneymaker, but it's a great class and great students in it. So overall, it's a wonderful week at ACC. It's the middle of semester. We're still battling with the pandemic, but it's nice to know we're on top of the 28 community colleges and that we're serving the region at a high level. And thank you, as always, for your support, and we'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.